Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Ultimate Doctor Who Marathon. This is the show where I look at every classic Doctor Who story, plus a bunch of big finish audio dramas, one episode a day, 7 days a week, and today on the 11th of September, 2018, we are starting the... I don't even know what number the story is. Basically, it's the third to the last story in Season 13. It's the Android Invasion, starting, of course, with Part 1, and the first thing that really should set off red flags is that this is a Terry Nation script. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a 100% bad story, because Terry Nation has done some really good stories in the past, especially Dalek stories. But, well, this story isn't very good. This first episode is, it's the penultimate story that he wrote for Doctor Who, and it's also one where he didn't include the Daleks at all, so you're not using the villains that he's famous for. But that being said, the beginning episode is okay. It has some really good mystery. It's basically got the Doctor and Sarah Jane land on what they think is Earth. They think it's Earth. They're like, all right, we're on Earth this time. The Doctor offers Sarah Jane some ginger beer, which she says she doesn't like, which is going to come into play later. And they realize that in this village that they're in, they start by seeing a unit guy, who kills himself, which is weird. But then we see also that he's also later alive in the village, so, the audience already kind of pieces it together from the title that these are probably the androids, because we see them, basically, we go into the village of Devesham, where Sarah Jane has been before on a case for her journalism days, which is interesting that this is one of those few stories that actually brings in that, yes, she's a journalist, something that the stories, it's a story where, they try to have Sarah Jane have her big, big storyline, and there's also, like, a sort of a space center, run by unit nearby, and basically we're set up for that, this village, for whatever reason, is empty. So, the Doctor and Sarah Jane go into a pub. They see, it's empty. They see all, like, the coins and stuff are minted the same date, and they're all newly minted, which is just plain weird. It's just kind of a weird thing. And not only is it weird, is that, well, just about everything sort of, it's a very, then people show up, but they're also unresponsive to them, like they don't even speak to them. And basically there's this guy called Guy Crawford who's working at unit, working with someone called Zygons, which we don't really see until the end, which is the cliffhanger, which is a really bad cliffhanger. Like, the cliffhanger is, it wants to be the alien reveal, but we just see the face, and there's no menace. The Doctor and Sarah Jane don't even notice it. Like, they're being chased. You see, like, these people in astronaut suits, and they're also androids, like, because inside them they aren't. They're like, it's machine parts, and it's not. They aren't, like, actual people. So they're just machines, and that's interesting. It's got some good stuff. It's got some intrigue. Part of the problem here is that this whole, if they're all android duplicates, it's kind of a ripoff so far of Terror of the Zygons from earlier in the season, which I guess is okay, though it's not very well done. The episode keeps you entertained, and everything is interesting enough in that it's like it's got a decent enough story to it. We just aren't going anywhere with it. Like, it acts like it wants to be this big, sprawling story, but there's really nothing to it. There's also this weird pod where Sarah Jane gets attacked, and then the next time we see her, she's escaped, which I think that's supposed to be our cue that she's been captured and taken. That's an android, though I don't know if they're actually going to reveal that. Like, really, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that's a famous thing. This is a story where Sarah Jane is replaced by an android. And also the cliffhanger is kind of a non-cliffhanger. Like, there's this great moment of, is that finger loaded, as the Doctor's apprehended, as he gets, which, could have been a really good cliffhanger. Also, the finger guns are kind of like the Autons, like Terror of the Zygons mixed with Spearhead from space. which is weird because it's weird. It's almost like this story plays out like kind of a Pertwee story, which is at least this first episode does, which I think is odd, an odd decision to have the story play out like a Pertwee story, and then that's like would be a perfect cliffhanger. But no, they're in unit. Guy Crawford is like actually kind of a limp villain too. He's like kind of acts like a whiner. Like the guys who plays him just isn't very good at acting it, so like he doesn't really inflect. But yeah, then we just sort of see the villain. Like that's like they're called crawls. I know they're called crawls, but like so like you don't really see them. So yeah, I'm gonna give the Android Invasion Part 1 a 7 out of 10. All right, it is the 12th of September 2018, and I just finished watching Part 2 of the Android Invasion. And I'm actually, when we're going to review this one, I'm going to start at the end of the episode and work my way, well, we're going to jump around a bit. But we're starting at the end, because the big cliffhanger reveal is, yes, indeed, Sarah Jane's been replaced by an android. Which, you know, would be a decent cliffhanger if, well, early on in the episode, we get that revealed to us, like, 2 times. It's not, yes, it's a cliffhanger for the Doctor, but, like, that doesn't necessarily mean it's well written, because it's like, hey, we already know the cliffhanger. We know the point of peril. We know where the episode's leading to, the big reveal, and even the we're trying to hide the reveal doesn't quite make much sense in context, as the androids that the crawls use, well, they are androids that have been adapted, well, essentially to work like clones. So they're basically clones. It's not like, say, the Zygons, where you can tell they're behaving badly because, yeah, they're getting a stream of memories, but they're also not getting perfect. Yeah, it's not this sort of conclusion doesn't work well for the episode. It makes it difficult, really, to sympathize, because it's like, and it's just you see it coming. You also, with the androids, some stuff that the episode does well is the addition of the plot with, like, slowly revealing that the city, it's an artificial city. Though artificial wood and stuff is a bit of an odd choice, like really artificial fake wood. Like, you couldn't get some real trees and plant them. Also, if they were fake, why didn't the Doctor immediately notice them? Like, the first episode has the Doctor being like, oh yes, these are real oak trees. They only grown on Earth. Which would be good, would be cool, if they used we're on a different planet, or we're in a controlled experimental environment, because that's basically what this is. This is all a simulation for a planned invasion by the Crawls. I don't know why, I don't know why Guy Crawford is working for them, because he was an astronaut, like Sarah Jane, the android of Sarah Jane, not even Sarah Jane herself, fills us in that, hey, Guy Crawford was this astronaut working for a unit space program, which, that's believable. A unit has been, this story makes sense that there would be space programs, and he should be dead. He was lost a year ago. Here's the thing. They obviously got his mind in the spacecraft. Like, it's obvious, like, yes, we got his mind. It's how we extracted this whole village of Devsham, and I guess where they're going to invade. A bit weird to invade just a random village in the British countryside, or, like, I don't know where Devsham is, or is supposed to be. I'm pretty sure it's a fake village. Like, it's not a real, this is really, really a village. Like, we really, like, Devsham is a real place in Britain. I don't think it is. Actually, I'm almost positive it isn't. It's one of those, we've made this place essentially our testing site. And You know what? It works okay. Though a lot of this episode is some chases which really aren't necessary. Like we could have done without the chases. That would have probably worked for the best. Like we probably could have gotten more done if we left out the chases. Maybe tighten things up. Again, the replay of the cliffhanger at the beginning isn't very good because again, there isn't a menace, and the Carl doesn't actually menace the Doctor. The Carls themselves are a decent enough design, though the masks don't fit right, so the mouth, you can like see the actors moving their mouths underneath the mouth holes, like it should be attached. I think it's up. This is a matter of sort of doing an overuse of the makeup, where really they should have been like, yes, we have, where they shouldn't have been overusing the makeup. They should have just been I guess using it sparingly. It's not a good idea in that regard, and it doesn't quite work. It feels like it's like, hey, we're trying to do stuff outside of our station. Like we aren't doing this too much. That being said, the episode itself is all right. You have Harry and Sergeant Benton, well, Harry and RMS Benton, who is, our big, our big, our big, bad villain of the story. He is very much, there. He is, they're back, though. It doesn't quite work because somehow Crayford knows Ben's been promoted, which only happened in Robot, which doesn't take place much longer about this. Basically, there's just issues with the plotting, so I'm going to give Android Invasion Part 2 a 5 out of 10. Alright, it's the 13th of September 2018, and I just finished watching Part 3 of the Android Invasion. And, okay, I can't be the only one thinking that the Android Invasion doesn't really know what it wants to be. Like, yeah, there's a story here, and yes, you could argue it's decently written, and it has, some nice bits, but overall, it just is like, doesn't quite know where it's going. I mean, it's obviously taking plot points from other Doctor Who stories, just even of this season. Like, it's really Terry Nation still reusing just tropes and things because, well, he's Terry Nation, and that's what he does, which is, let's be honest, that's a bit of a nuisance overall. Like, seriously, the guy, just reusing tropes that you've used in the past, it doesn't make you a good writer. It doesn't make you, prepared to write a full story. It just sort of makes it feel like you're, a little underprepared for this. It feels wrong. It feels like, you're just trying to have, your story. It's like you want to have your story, but you don't want to, do anything original with it. Like, seriously, it's like, I mean, we have, Guy Crayford, who is just kind of dumb, and the ideas here are really out there. Like, you have this idea that, yes, Crayford went off course and was stuck in the orbit of Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter. I don't know why Jupiter, but like, just because it's a planet, I guess. Like, and that's where the Kralls found him and decided, we're gonna reconstitute this guy because we want to take over the Earth. And by take over the Earth, their planet is destroyed, like the Zygons, and they want to terraform the Earth like the Zygons to fit their species, like the Zygons. Like, this is where really, it feels like Terror of the Zygons. Also, the sets just seem to look really bad. Like, they don't look like they've been thought out very well. They look almost... They look cheap. They look as if, someone just, threw some stuff together and was like, that'll look okay. Well, it's fine. We don't need to be crazy on the sets. We just need to make them look okay. When really, they should be trying to put, some care into them. Like, it's not just this isn't just we can do a set. The location footage is nice. Also, Tom Baker he's obviously very ill during the filming of this. And I'm sorry, he can't act through it. Like, I get that, you have a deadline, but when your main actor is sick and you can't get them to perform, you have a problem. Like, you really should, have a realize that your lead actor shouldn't be able to get sick, and it's obviously because he jumped in that pond in part 2, which I get it. He's they don't have time but really it doesn't work. Maybe they should have had Sarah Jane do more. Also, the cliffhanger's nice with the Doctor captured and dying. It's a very good, solid, punch your gut, give you something scary cliffhanger. Even if it really, really doesn't, do anything with it, it's one of those things that it was just the story. It just falls flat. There are characters in here from previous stories who really don't have a purpose except to be old faces. It doesn't work. So I'm going to give the Android Invasion Part 3 a 3 out of 10. Alright, it is the 14th of September 2018, and I just finished watching Part 4 of the Android Invasion, and I was hoping this one would turn it around a little bit, with the conclusion. Like, there was definitely a chance to do that. Don't get me wrong, there are still some good ideas and some decent scenes. Like, this is the episode where the Doctor jumps out the window. That's a hilarious, just sort of I'm out moment. And you know what? That's fine. That's great. I enjoy that. It's a good, fun way of ending things, of like little moments like that. And there's some really good bits with the Doctor and Sarah Jane, and both of them having duplicates, and there's some fun stuff there. But that doesn't mean that the story itself is worth anything. Like, it's not built around a good premise. It's an okay ending. Not even good. It's bad. Really only saved. It's got some really, really bad green screen effects. Like, and this was directed by Barry Letts, who, directed most of the Pertwee era, where he pretty much single-handedly helped with getting green screen to look nice. Like, it baffles the mind, with, where you have the story ending, on this very low note. We aren't ending on a high. We aren't ending on a victory. We're also sort of stopping. I mean, honestly, the best bit is when the credits roll, because then the whole story is over and you don't have to, deal with this whole, the crawls and the evils of, just their evil plan to take over the world by invading with androids and using a virus that never actually gets deployed. Also, like, the fact that the Doctor and Sarah Jane gets Earth via what is basically via rocket, via sewing wing on the rocket, and Sarah Jane even passes out, is just, it makes me laugh, because it's not like it's a sane sort of thing. It's like, yes, and she survives in the rocket, and she, they both live to see through the end of the rocket. It's not very good. It's like, hey, it's almost begging the question of, hey, keep watching because we might actually show something worthwhile, even if there's really no chance of anything worthwhile happening. It's a bad conclusion. Probably the worst thing is that Crayford, it's revealed that he wasn't injured the whole time, except, if he was missing his eye, he would realize he could still see out of his eye. He would, because, I mean, it goes under the idea that he wore the eye patch 24/7, like, that you can't do that. Like, that doesn't, like, he must have, I don't know, it's been a year. He must have taken it off at least once. Like, the big, if it was maybe he immediately did it, and, I don't know, maybe, also, like, the whole eye thing doesn't make sense, except it makes Crayford want to go against the Kralls, and also the Doctor's like, yes, I made my android, to decide, to go against its masters. Again, a lot of this stuff is just dumb. Like, what is it? What is it doing? Is it, like, trying to be, a tightly knit horror, like, action story? It doesn't feel right. It's like, it's just like, we're building towards this ending. Here is our ending. Enjoy this ending. You won't actually understand what we're actually trying to accomplish ending it like this. Just trust us, because, Terry Nation's a smart writer. And it feels like there's, like, no real script editing. It just feels like it's like, well, we tried. Here's the episode. Have fun with that. What's nice is, I guess, John Levine and Ian Marter get to be decent in this episode, as they actually get to interact with the Doctor for, like, oddly enough, the last time. I'm pretty sure it's the last time for the both of them. Like, this is the last time both characters appear. I might be wrong on that. I know it's the last time Harry appears. So yeah, it as a story, it doesn't know. I don't think it knows what it wants to be. And it sort of acts like, look at me, aren't I clever enough to end? So I'm going to give the Android Invasion Part 4 a 3 out of 10. And we average the 4 parts up to give the Android Invasion a final score of 4.5 out of 10. Thank you, everybody, for watching this installment of the Ultimate Doctor Who Marathon, even if it's not a very good story. But, of course, as usual, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please join me next time when the Ultimate Doctor Who Marathon takes on the penultimate Season 13 story in The Brain of Morbius.